Hello everybody, how we all doing? It's Katie here, the Mountain Mystic, and I'm so happy to be here with you today to speak directly to the mountain as an archetype to be embodied, to be lived. Yes, we are here on this channel, the Mountain Mystic, a name I gave to this space because it is the mountain in her physical, literal form, as well as the mountain in her archetypal form, in this form that is the wisdom that we can embody and that we can express through ourselves in our lives, that really holds our space. And so I wanted to do a video to speak directly to and to work directly with the mountain in the form, maybe multiple forms, that she wants to come through for us today. Now I have to name, this is one of those videos that I'm filming for you directly after we just held our New Earth embodiment, or priestesses of a New Earth circle. So we have been in circle as our sort of inner circle in this community, working in that embodiment space, working directly with Earth, going through a powerful journey, weaving our wisdom the way we do. And what sort of came out of today's circle is many things, but what was very clear and loud to me at the end of circle was the mountain. Is the mountain herself, again, the mountain as an archetype that we can work with, the mountain as a wisdom that we can call in, embody, work with, and allow to express through our lives. So I wanted to do this here publicly. This isn't something I often do. This is something that, is more reserved for circles or paid spaces, but as this is the archetype that holds our space, it feels natural and organic and right to share it with you all, the whole YouTube community and everybody else who watches these videos. If you're new here, if this is the first video you're watching, that's amazing. I love that you're entering into our space through this practice that is embodiment of the mountain. If you've been around for a while, have done practice with me before, then you to some degree have a knowing of what we're going to go into. But I do want to walk us through it today. I think today is a powerful video to sort of walk us step by step into this space. Embodiment being the heart, the center, the core of what we do here. We, as people who are coming together, hearts and all parts of self, devoted to, connected with what we might call a spiritual path or any sort of healing path, developmental path for self, yes. But more than that, what we are doing here is working into connection to that which expands beyond self, namely Earth in all her forms. The ecosystems, we are part of the ecosystems that make up the whole of planet Earth. The Mountain Mystic is a space where we get to be in the mysteries, right? Explore spiritually, but in an embodied way, and in a way in which our own bodies, our own selves, are the space that we get to work in. Yes, there is something to be said about all those spaces that are here to take us off, away on some wild, amazing spiritual journey. Here, we keep ourselves centered, grounded within self, within the physical nature that we are. It's a core piece of what we do here. So with that, what we're going to do is, I'm going to go within. And to do that, we're going to dance and weave in this conversation between practice and words. So I invite you here to really start to center into self. If you've, had other distractions going, maybe you've been multitasking, now would be a really good time to sort of let go of those distractions to the degree that you are able. Maybe you can't let go a lot of them at this point, and that's okay. Just take this journey for what it is, given where you are at this moment. Maybe you can come back to the journey at a time where you can give your full focus here. Wherever you are, whatever distractions you can let go of. Breathing into self. And as you breathe into self, inviting you to really breathe into that physical nature of self. Breathing down into your body. Breathing into that three-dimensional expansion of your rib cage. Letting your inhale fill you. Be filled with breath and letting your inhales flow naturally right into your exhale. Big inhales. Full exhales. Breathing deep into self. Maybe you stay in your rib cage. If it feels good to you, maybe with each breath you deepen a little bit further, breathing deeper down your solar plexus, maybe eventually down into your abdomen. But make this an experience that feels good and nourishing and supportive and grounding for you. Breathing into your body. Deepening your breath into your body. Grounding, deepening breaths. We're not going to go too deep right now. Just that grounding into self. And as we take these breaths, feeling that physical ground beneath you, your feet on the floor, your seat in your chair, whatever is relevant for you, given where you're seated, or maybe you're standing, feeling into that connection with the physical ground, the earth beneath you, as you maintain these deep grounding breaths into self. Grounding into self and centering in self. Now, as you're centered within self, an invitation to start to expand your awareness into your immediate environment, the room you're in, for example. Assuming most of us are inside, maybe you're watching this outside, which is amazing. Your immediate environment. So you're grounded, you're centered within self, you're expanding your awareness out into your immediate environment. Tuning into your senses, what's here, what's present in your immediate environment. Then coming back into self, fully into self. And from this space, we're going to start to weave in the mountain. Although we already have with that practice, to a certain degree. This grounded, centered energy. We're going to start simple. We're going to begin by simply invoking the mountain. What happens when we invoke the mountain? Maybe a certain mountain or a series of mountains that are known to you arise for you. Maybe you see them, maybe you recall a certain memory or series of memories. Maybe you're like me and can look out your window, and to the right, I see one mountain range. To the left, I see another mountain range. I'm so blessed to live here in northern New Mexico, surrounded by mountains. Invoking the mountain, what arises for you? Let your mind come online here. See what is here to be seen. Remember, Let your mind be filled here with the mountain. We don't do this often. We're often getting out of our heads in this space. We're often letting the mind go. But in this moment, I invite you to let your mind come on board. Let the mountain fill you in whatever way she will here. With memories, let emotions come up. What's here? What's here in your field of consciousness as we invoke the mountain? Now comes the part where I invite you to get out of your head, to descend down into your body and to feel. Feel in your heart, feel as your whole being. What do you feel as we invoke the mountain? Can let emotion come online here, but more than that, deeper than that, what is here to be felt? I'm going to start to name some things. When I tune into the mountain, one of the first things I feel is grounding. That earth beneath my feet. But more than that, it's a grounding within. It's a grounding. I feel it lower in my body, maybe from my abdomen down. It's like an anchoring, a grounding down into this earth. A grounding down into this earth. But the mountain doesn't actually ground down into the earth. The mountain rises as part of the earth. And again, as I name these things, just an invitation to feel into it. Maybe it brings something up for you, maybe it doesn't, but we're going to go through a whole list of things here. So an invitation to bring in a playful attitude. We're going to play here. We're going to play here as we invoke these different characteristics of the mountain. Sharing these words to guide us into it. So this grounding into earth, but more than this, it's more like a rising up as earth herself and feeling this in your body, feeling this in your feet on the floor, your legs, those lower chakra areas, your lower body, maybe your whole body. Maybe you feel this in your whole body. This grounded connection down into earth, and simultaneously this rising up as the grounds of earth herself. Whew. That's a powerful one. That's a powerful one. If we wanted to, we could just stop right there. Wow. Do that one daily. Do that one daily. Grounding down into earth, rising up as earth herself right there. Already embodied the mountain. We get to continue. Let's keep going. So we're grounded. And again, that lower body or those lower chakra areas, grounded, held, connected in, part of earth herself. The next space we're going to move into, I've been over here kind of moving around like I do, and I'm moving a bunch of energy and facilitating, speaking. This next piece, call in to embody the mountain. I'm going to share this word, stillness. Unlike the trees and the animals and all of life that's running around doing their thing, moving atop the mountain herself is in stillness. So from this grounded space, rooted grounded as Earth herself. From this space, moving into stillness. And I know for a lot of us, stillness can be challenging. For a lot of us, stillness is nourishing and you can just click right into it. But if you need help here, if you need help, guidance finding stillness, call her and lean into that mountain herself. She is here to help you find stillness. Breathing into self, breathing into this stillness. And from this grounded, rooted place, as part of Earth herself, finding that stillness within. Letting your physical body come into stillness. Finding that stillness, settling into that stillness. And maybe it's something that you can only touch into in the moment, and maybe you touch into it and then kind of have to bring in some movement again. Maybe it's something you can really deepen into. Wherever you're at with it, let's bring in a little bit of movement here. Let's shake it out a little bit. This invitation, again, as I share these practices with you, be mindful, hold that awareness of what feels really helpful, really nourishing. Like, yes, this is the next thing that could really help me on my journey, right? Because we're all here on our own unique journeys. And as I like to teach, on what I speak to these days is the embodied path, right? Is your path that you are walking in this life. And unlike what a lot of spiritual traditions teach, which is very specific linear paths, you do this, then you do this, then you do this, then you do this. I tend to shy away from that sort of framework, and I really honor and teach a sort of path that has to do with making it your own. Try out practices as they show up for you, the ones that are helpful, that resonate for you, maybe that challenge you a little bit or feel super nourishing in the moment. Call those in. Continue to practice them. And if there's something I or any teacher speaks, invites you to try out, and it feels really crunchy and you just want to push it away and it's just not for you, then let it not be for you. Try it out. If it doesn't work for you, let it go on its way. Maybe it's never meant for you. Maybe it's not meant for you at this point in your path. Okay, now that we've had that little aside, let's shift back into practice. Once again, leaning into the mountain, calling in the mountain. We've played with that grounding. We've played with that center. We've played with that stillness. This is a fun one. This is a fun one. Now that we're grounded, centered, we've got to some degree that stillness within. Now's the time where and feeling this in your body. I'm feeling this, right? We're going kind of from base up through your body, up into those higher chakra areas of your heart up. From this space, feeling into that top of the mountain, that peak. And maybe you've climbed a mountain where you get to the top or there's a big overlook. Maybe you've traveled where I live, where you get to tree line. Once you get above tree line, the world opens up. But it's this opening up. It's the top, it's the peak. It's the moment where now all expands, it opens up. And maybe you have a specific memory here that comes in to help you feel into this. It's an opening, it's an expansion. Feeling into that opening, that expansion, that standing atop the mountain, looking out on the expansive world around you. Again, if you've never had this experience, highly recommend you coming to my part of the world here in the Rocky Mountains. It's endless opportunities to climb a mountain, to ascend above tree line, and to get to that place where the world opens up. And you can see it all. You can see all the surrounding lands. From this space, you can look out and you can take it all in. Just feeling into that for another moment. Let's not start to because we've been doing this, but let's again lean into putting all these pieces together, right? What we're doing, and if you haven't really picked up on this, is what we are doing is building the mountain, embodying the mountain from the ground up. So we started, right? We started again in our lower body, in those lower chakra areas, if you resonate with the word chakra. If not, it's your lower body. That grounding, that connecting down into earth, and that rising up as earth herself. So feeling into that and holding that. From this space, coming into your center, and if there's a stillness in this center, grounded, rooted, rising up as the mountain, finding that center, that stillness within. Breathing here, breathing here. And as we're rising up as the mountain herself, you sort of lean into what it would be like to climb up a mountain. We start to rise up through self. And at this point, rising up into that upper body, those upper chakra areas, maybe all the way up into your crown. Opening your crown, opening the top of your head here, opening. From this space, that top of the mountain, the peak, opening up into that grand expanse, that space from which you can take it all in. As you sit here, grounded, centered, giving yourself a moment to take it all in. Whatever that means for you in this moment, what is here for you to take in? If you find yourself sort of reaching or clinging to what this is, if you find your mind getting on board here, invitation to lean back a little bit, to get out of the way, and to allow whatever's ever here to come through, to show itself. Maybe it's a message, maybe it's a feeling, maybe there's emotion here, maybe you're really not getting much, but feeling something. Maybe there's light here. Maybe there's a whole bunch of somethings moving in. And allowing yourself to have an experience here as you have embodied the mountain herself. Staying with your breath, remaining centered within self. So you remain grounded, rooted, and open. Open to that bright, expansive sky around you, the sun above you, the land spanning out far and wide all around you. breathing here, having your own experience here. I'm going to give you just a few more moments, asking if there's any last thing to happen here. Knowing you can come back to this space whenever you'd like, if you feel there's more here. Starting to let this practice go, really coming back into self, breathing into that physical nature of your body, feeling into the expansion of your rib cage, maybe your abdomen, feeling your feet on the floor, your seat on the chair. When you're ready, starting to bring in some movement, maybe in your head, neck, shoulders. Maybe you rub your hands across your legs, your arms. Coming back into self, centering in self. I knew this one was going to be powerful. How fun, how fun. All that we got to do here. And maybe for you, you had a very simple experience and you're thinking you really just got a little bit. Maybe you're sitting here having a most profound experience. Wherever you're at, honoring the journey you just had and honoring the perfection of what came through for you. From the mountain herself. I want to end this video with just a few more words. You know, as the mountain mystic, I could spend hours and hours and hours speaking to the mountain, which is why I'm writing a whole book centered on this archetype. This archetype as a journey through life itself, right? The journey up a mountain. It's a journey through life itself. And what I love about the mountain is we can embody her in this way. We can play with this archetype in many other ways and say, note to make sure you're subscribed here as well as my newsletter. You can join in at upwardslopes.com to make sure you're on the newsletter so that you're tuned in to all the offerings, all the ways we get to play in this space. Let's close. Again, I wanted to share a few more words, right? So the mountain as a journey through life itself, right? The mountain, when we sit in the space of the mountain, we can sit in that space of stillness, that eternal watcher, right? Mountains exist across lifetimes. There's that characteristic that has to do with the ability to sit in stillness, grounded, centered, and observe as you take in the whole world around you. All the happenings around you. All the animals busy in the forest, the trees swaying in the wind, the storms that come through, all the humans doing their things all around, all our crazy things that us humans do. Through all of it, the mountain stands and holds it all, observes it all. So that's one way you can lean into a mountain. There's another way, right? That's the journey through life itself, right? An ascension journey. Climbing a mountain is an ascension journey. And what if we walked through life holding space for that journey through life, that ascension journey, whatever that means for you. But we did so as we were able to more fully embody that mountain, that grounded connection as self and as part of Earth herself. That inner stillness. Even as we're moving and doing all the things we're here to do in life, holding that inner stillness. And as we're walking through life, doing all the things we're here to do, what if we walked through life with that openness, with that expanded awareness? I can take in all that's happening around me, and I can be open to the wisdom that is here to help guide me through it all. That polarity of being able to hold that mountain, that inner stillness, that grounded center as you move through life. Feeling into that. If we could all move through life in that way, oh, the world would be a different place. And that is exactly what we are here to do. We are here co-creating New Earth now, not as some far esoteric space, but a reality that is lived and breathed as it is embodied here and now. As you, and that's me, and as our whole growing community of people, sovereign individuals, each on our own unique path, interconnected through our community, interconnected through all the communities we are part of, interconnected at the ecosystems we are part of, and interconnected as the whole web of life on planet Earth. Whew. Feeling into that one. That one's powerful. Oh my gosh, guys, I thank you so much for hanging out with me in this space. If you're still with me at the end, oh my gosh, it would mean the world to me if you would leave a comment. Let me know what you are experiencing over there. Once again, if you haven't yet, hit that like button. It matters to help get this video out to the people it best serves to get to. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications so that you know when the next video is released. And again, make sure you are on the Mountain Mystic newsletter. You can sign up for that at upwardslopes.com. There's much more happening in our community than just is what here is on YouTube. There's writings. I just created the new Mountain Mystic blog. This is a space where we get to play more fully in the mystical and the magical in Earth's mysteries. Do so in a grounded, embodied, here present, centered on planet Earth kind of way. Okay. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I look forward to catching you in whatever the next space is that we find ourselves in.